What is up, tube users? I'm the stereotypical gamer, and welcome back to another fantastically fun games for under $15. Today, we are taking a look at a game that I haven't played in over 5 years, and just recently came back to it as a free-to-play player, basically, and I've had a lot of fun playing it, and that is Destiny 2. Now, to just give a little bit of context to my personal Destiny history, I never really played Destiny 1. I played a little bit of it, but I never got really serious into it. But when Destiny 2 came out, I played through all of the year one content, most of the first couple DLCs, basically all the DLCs up till Shadow Keep. I want to say whatever one that Cade Six dies in. That's where I quit because I knew that they were sunsetting all these old things that were nostalgic for me at the time, and it really just didn't feel like the game that I fell in love with. But now coming back to it after there's been I think 3 or 4 DLCs and seeing where this game is going because there's a new DLC coming up, a lot of new content coming in, and just kind of reminiscing and getting nostalgic for how good this game is. Like, I know that there's a lot of things that you can buy in this game, but kind of just going in back to it as a strictly free to play game, just nothing to buy, none of the DLCs, none of the cosmetic crap, just playing the game free to play is still extremely fun just because of the core concepts of Destiny are still intact with this new age of Destiny 2. I think what makes Destiny 2 such a great game is it by far has some of the best gunplay of any first person shooter out there. Just killing red bar enemies like that don't take a lot of hits and you can one shot them is just so satisfying that no other game like really hits on that. And the looter shooter aspect of the game and upgrading your character and just how good everything flows together and the activities while having a lot of first person shooting mechanics introduces new concepts with just kind of how the characters work in the game. And it's a really cool just blend of a first person shooter with some really good puzzle aspects and some really good just parkour and movement mechanics that make this game one of the best first person shooters out there. And I'm a huge sci-fi nerd, so hearing the voice actors of Firefly play a prominent role throughout the story is just so lovely. And just how well the sci-fi elements are in this game, the world building of all these different zones that you go to are just so beautiful. The colorations of everything is just really well done. Each planet has its own like unique color planet that is unique to that, so even if you don't see like what planet you're on, you can tell by the colorations. It's just such a great art design, and just I love it anytime I go to like a new area that I can explore that's like I'm not like time gated or there's not a lot of enemies. I try and explore just like everything I can because it's just so well detailed, everything in just every location, and the backdrops even are just so beautiful. Everything in here I feel like could be a screenshot for a screensaver or something. And another thing that I love about Destiny 2 that really sets it apart from most other looter shooter first person shooter games out there is the amount of different things you can do with other people and the difficulty scaling for stuff. That the easy stuff is still really casual friendly, and you still can get good loot from it, and then the like harder difficulty, your grandmasters and stuff like that, are really difficult and really challenging, and you get really good loot from it. So there's just really good things that appeal to both just casual players and hardcore alike. And it's great to have such a variety, like being able to play just PvP against other players, or to be able to do like strike missions, PvE, big raid encounters with six other people in a giant like PvE environment, or do PvPvE if you really hate yourself and play some Gambit. But there's something that appeals to anyone that is a fan of the first person shooter genre, I think, and that's what really is great about Destiny. And speaking of the raids, I think the raids in Destiny 2 are some of my favorite content. Just going in with six other people and just being able to communicate properly through these different encounters and defeat really like high-end bosses that are have been a part of the lore for such a long time is really cool. I love doing all that story stuff, but the communication in the raids and just how majority of encounters work are really fun. I like the idea of there being three jobs basically, and everyone has to know the jobs because it's random who gets assigned them. So it's really fun to kind of know what you have to do on the fly and just be able to adapt to different situations in the raid like that. And while I think the gunplay aspects are far superior, the looter shooter aspects are great. The just overall design of everything is probably some of the best design in any video game that I've ever played. It doesn't come without its bad, and let's go over some of that. Now, I'm not going to go over any of the bad of the story aspects. There's plenty of videos that detail and critique the story aspects in recent years of the game, but all of that is paid content. I'm kind of just looking through the eyes of a free-to-play player and what you are offered and what you can do as a free-to-play player. And I mean, the first really bad thing about being a free-to-play player is there is constant ads to buy the new DLC. Luckily, what I did is there was a sale for all the DLCs a couple of weeks ago, and I ended up buying just the Witch Queen expansion, which isn't the newest one. It's the previous one. I think it's Witch Queen and then Lightfall, which is what's going on right now. But once I bought that, and it was only $5, and I had a blast playing through it because it's an actual great campaign compared to most of the other stories. But once I bought that, I didn't see like any ads after that. But I know before that, I was getting hit with ads constantly to buy some of the DLC, and it was really annoying. The other really dumb thing that I've always questioned about this game is the size for different things to do in this game. If you want to play with friends, you have to kind of base it off of how many friends you're going to play with, right? If you play with three, you can do a lot of things in the game if it's just three of you. I mean, you can do anything, right? There's PvP, there's PvE, you can go to different worlds. If you go with four people, though, you have to do either Gambit or PvP, or you get two other people to join a raid, or you do get six people in and you can do a raid. Everything has a different capacity for players, and it just kind of gets confusing with how many people you have in your party and what you can actually do with that many people. The other thing that is kind of upsetting, and I touched on it a bit earlier, is Gambit, the PvPvE mode. Basically, in Gambit, you kill a bunch of AI enemies, collect motes from their bodies, and turn those into a hub in the middle of the map somewhere. And basically, you're racing against another team to turn in as many motes. And then after like certain thresholds, you're able to teleport to the other side where the other team is fighting, and you can try and kill them to score some, to like halt them a bit, you know. And it's a really cool idea. And I remember when it came out, like I had a lot of fun playing it. It's a great way of combining both PvE and PvP together. But I guess it probably wasn't that popular in the community, which is unfortunate because they have literally, I don't think, done anything to Gambit since it initially came out. Like, I think it's still the same maps that it's always been. I don't think there's been any new maps, and it's just really sad to see because it's something that you still can do and still can grind out for powerful gear, but it's just the same every time, and it gets really boring and really repetitive quickly, and it's unfortunate to see it go down like that. But other than that, I do really think that this game has some of the best shooting mechanics in any first person shooter ever. I think the puzzling aspects that it brings to first person shooting is really fun, and the team communication in a PvE environment, I don't think there's really any game that does it as well as Destiny does it. And while I don't think the PvP is bad and I do enjoy it from time to time, I do think it falls into the trap of PvP in MMOs where you really want to have the best gear to play at the most competitive level in a PvP, and I just really don't like to take the time to that. I would rather focus on PvE, and what PvE brings to the table is just a plethora of different activities to do and different ways to do it, and I really think that's a lot of fun and is the best part about Destiny. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Go check out Destiny 2 with all the new content. There is a bunch of stuff to have fun with, and hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.